I've been teaching here at Alameda High since 2000. And I was diagnosed in 2006. It's nice to forget some of those bad ones. I remember the good things. My sons were born in 2002 and 2005. And they are now in high school. I have a junior in high school, and I have an 8th grader who's going to start high school next year. And we are in Castro Valley. I've been here at Alameda longer than my kids have been around, and it's pretty cool to see now most of the kids that I teach are juniors in high school, so they're the same age as my son. And so it's perspective, because when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, my son Evan was 7 months old, and he was breastfeeding at the time. I always like to say I know you guys have heard this story before, some of my students here. I was actually using my breasts for what they were for when I got a lump, and it turned out to be breast cancer. Another part of my history is that I have my PhD in molecular biology, where I did cancer research. I know a lot about cancer. And the research that I did was on breast cancer, and I was working on a compound to slow the growth of cancer cells. I wish I would have done a little better on that. It's funny, well, I'll kind of move in and out of the stuff. So one of the medicines that I'm on right now that's keeping my cancer away, I heard many talks about this new drug, Herceptin. And I was studying, Herceptin's more of a protein hormone, and I was studying steroid hormones, and I really thought that I was studying the best thing, and they were right. So I was happy that happened. With science, you always have to follow whatever thing makes the most sense. And so I know a lot about the medicines that I'm on right now, because I'm still on treatment right now. So I'll go back to the original story a little bit more. So when I was diagnosed, I had a lumpectomy, and I had chemotherapy, and I had radiation, and it had surgery. And then I was okay for 3 years. And really, okay, because I'm looking at these, I think showing emotion is a sign of strength. And I just want to make sure you guys know that, because it's hard for me to tell the story. So this is strong, because I'm looking at 2 people that I was teaching with at the time. Mr. McFetrich was the vice principal here, and I've been teaching with Kelly Greger for 18 years. And I found out about my breast cancer when I was on leave with my son, and I wasn't teaching at the time. So the district was just amazing at letting me, knowing that I would be able to get through all my treatment, and I talked to them, and I never had any problems with school at all about trying to come back and be healthy and supported. But so at the time I wasn't teaching, but I was really in touch with a lot of people here at the school. And then I was fine. I came back, and I was able to teach, and I just had to kind of get back on my feet after coming back from the first round of treatment. So then I was good for 3 years, and then it came back. And so I had a recurrence where, thank you. So I had a recurrence where it had metastasized and come back, and I did everything right. It was not supposed to come back at all, but it did. And that, I was teaching then. That was hard, because I had to tell my kids. And not my children, but my students. And I really remember that day. You guys know me, we talk about hard stuff all the time, and it's really different. You get to see other people get strong for you, and that's one of the things that's been really amazing about this whole journey as a cancer survivor. And that day, I remember it really well too, because I got the call at school. I was finding out for sure about this, I don't even know why. I was like, I just really wanted to know. And so I was at school, and teachers helped me. They got me to the hospital. I don't even know who drove my car home that day. It was really they just rallied around me, and my colleagues all helped me out a lot. And so that one was really rough, because that one was a double mastectomy, and then I had to have this radiation to this tumor to shrink inside my chest, and then it metastasized to my brain. So I had a brain tumor too, and that was removed. And so and then I was like, get the brain tumor out so I can go back and do my chemo, and so it just was a long road. And the whole time, the parts, well, and kind of along the way too, I kept thinking I didn't want to be cancer lady. I just wanted to be healthy and not have cancer. But now I'm the breast cancer survivor, and I'm really proud of it. And I was really, I saw that. I know, and I was like, oh yeah, I was never gonna be that, but I guess I am. And I just have to own it, and it's making me stronger. And, but there was just a lot of positive things. I know one of the things that you guys are asking about is what could you tell yourself later? And it's so nice to be on the other side to say you can be strong, and you can go through it, and you can feel all the strength that you get when you pull yourself back up. But I think that just being able to tell the story and have people actually listen to you, and it helps you just realize that you are stronger from it. And people are like, yo, you're so strong. You're seeing me now. There's some days it's the worst days, and you're sitting on the curb and you don't want to get up. And sometimes I feel I don't have a choice to be strong, but I guess I really do. Smart people tell me that when I'm saying that. And I think that the strength really does come from the people around you, and making you joke and laugh and everything. One of the things that I always remember too is because when I went through chemotherapy and my hair fell out, and I had to do that twice. So my kids were little the first time. My older son Liam was 3 when I was diagnosed, and the younger one was 7 months. And my hair was out and everything, right? And so my sweet little he was about 3.5, 4-year-old boy, he'd always come up to say, well, I'd always wear a scarf when I'd go out. I never really wore wigs that much, so I'd always wear scarves out. But when I was home, I would not have my scarf on. I would just walk around bald. And he'd always say to me, he's like, Mom, you really don't look good without hair. I'm like, you're right. You're totally right. It's just it just made you so, you're this is fine. It'll be okay. It'll grow back. And so ever since then, I've been telling this story. I'm a guest speaker in physiology every year. Before I started teaching physiology, the physiology teacher would have me come in and talk about it. And I'd always talk about it more the treatment and the science behind it and everything. And this has been really challenging for me, because as I've been telling Alexis and Jackie, you guys are asking me hard questions. This is not what I usually do. I usually am the strong teacher in front of people, and I try not to get so emotional about it. But I feel proud that my students are pushing me to tell my story and get out there in kind of a different way, which is very cool. So where I am now is that I'm still on treatment because I have such an aggressive form of cancer that keeps coming back. And so I'm on this treatment, Herceptin, that I talked about, and I get it once every 3 weeks. intravenously, so I have to take a day off of school once every 3 weeks, so my students have to deal with that. And the district has been really super awesome. I've been able to get catastrophic sick leave so that I don't have to take I don't have to have a financial burden with that, which is really amazing. And then I'm also on a kind of medicine called Tykerb, where I take that every day, that stops the medicine from getting through the blood-brain barrier, so that it'll protect my brain from future things. So I have to get MRIs and brain scans about every 6 months, and then we're just keeping it away. So I'm cancer-free, but still on treatment. It's kind of a new way that it's more of like, it's kind of turned into chronic disease, at least for me it has. And I just really love that I have the opportunity to get to talk about it here. And then in my classes, I just, every so often somebody asks me a question, I'm like, well, do you really want to know? Because I can tell you. And yeah, so I think, is that long enough? Want me to keep going, or sure? We keep going. Okay.
22 more seconds.
Oh, I have 22 more seconds. Well, that's enough to say thank you. And let's go.